If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a squash can make you smile, if you like to waltz with potatoes, up and down the produce aisle.
Have we got a show for you?
Yeah, VeggieTales.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Anyone else have that religious trauma? What's up?
I'm joined here on Hopeless Romantics with a live eggplant. And
Yes,
my name is
yes.
Adrian. I'm a podcast host. Stop asking me what podcast I host. I will not tell you.
Oh, I'll tell you. It's Hopeless Romantics, everybody.
This is
So
unfair.
listen. This has been a week, to say the least. There's been a lot of health problems, a lot of currently I can't walk on my one foot, so that's good. But
Yeah,
I'm still here. I'm an eggplant, but I'm Alyssa and I'm here. So we got a show. I'm an eggplant, it'll be good. It'll be a good one. We're
yeah,
talking about gay dragons today.
we're
It's gonna
gonna
be
do
lit.
it. Okay, I am showing now our beautiful book that we are discussing. It was
Yes.
Shawn Michaels, Branded by Flames. And did you want to do that summary?
Sure, I have it written down here. All right. So it says for years, dragon shifter slash firefighter Jake has been searching for his mate, but he's beginning to tire of the search. Maybe soulmates are for the lucky few. Then he meets Shay, a former Navy welder. Shay is handsome, talented, into power play and rough sex, and covered in dragon tattoos. All of this suits the shape-shifting dragon just fine until he finds out Shay literally has Jake's family crest already tattooed on him. A coincidence or something more? Jake must convince Shay to trust him as a man and as a dom before the heat between them burns out of control. Becoming a dragon's mate is not without danger, and Shay will need Jake's guidance and love if he's going to make it through alive. Dun dun dun! So that's the summary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we will do hot takes.
Oh, that
Well,
is fair. I do not have a hot take this week, so this will be all you. That's
yes,
that's all you, my guy.
I got
Hell
this.
yeah.
All right, kids, look at this professional transition. Okay, hot take time. This book is overcompensating for something.
mm. Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will explain that later, but this book is overcompensating for something. That is my hot take.
Interesting.
Yes. Now, let's get into this. We're going to dive in, discuss these
Dive on in.
characters. Let's
Yeah, hell
introduce
yeah.
our
So
lads.
Shay's first.
Yes.
So Shay was described as being older. He is constantly throughout this book mentioning his age in like a negative fashion, which is low-key annoying. But he is constantly like, I'm too old, I'm old, blah 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 blah. All the time.
That's fair.
Yeah. He also has a ton of dragon tattoos everywhere. All over him. So that was fun to Photoshop.
Yes, your Shay looks really good. A
I
very
also
good, yeah.
I don't know if they said that he had any on his face, but and just that one little one. I was like, yeah, that's dope.
That's
That's dope.
fair.
We got our silver fox over here with some cool tattoos.
Yeah.
And then okay, so the next picture is I just changed his eye color slightly because his eyes glow like green, like Jake's eyes at one point. It's like when he gets upset, right? Or like emotion.
Yeah, it's like multiple points, and it
Yeah.
appears to be with heightened emotion, which I'm kind of a sucker for that trope, so.
It was really cool.
I was
I was
there
like,
for it.
yeah, body changes. Whoa, dope. And then one of the other things that we learn he also has the tattoo of Jake's family crest, which that was in our summary. So that's not like super spoilers because they just flat out tell you that that's a thing. But yeah, he has his like family crest tattooed on his balls. So that's why it's there on his boxers. It's under there. No one else can see it, but it's under there.
Yeah. Yes. And then Shay's eyes are typically brown. I know we mentioned they change, but they're typically brown, and he was described as having an undercut and a bearded face.
Yes, 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 yes. And on our next little thing here, he's also a welder. He makes like giant statues of dragons for a living,
Yeah.
which was really, really cool. So here he is, just welding away, welding this dragon. Dope, dope, dope.
Was very impressive to Jake when
Yeah,
he
he used
first
to
met.
be, oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be a Navy welder too, is what he said. So that was,
Yeah.
I feel like all of his brothers, because they did mention like his brothers later on, I feel like they all had pretty like cool jobs. Like some of them were like life-saving jobs and stuff like that. And then but like they gave Shay a cool job too on top of that. Everybody's got a cool career. Everybody.
That's fair. All right. Now we want to meet Jake.
Yes. So this is definitely not American Dragon Jake Long. Definitely not him.
Not
You know?
him.
It's definitely not. but like yeah. You know, see, he's got the paddle. He doesn't have a skateboard.
Yeah.
Notice that. He doesn't know what that is. What is that? He's got a little firefighter suit thingy on there, you know? It's his day
Mm-hmm.
job. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks
So that's,
great.
that's our main character. I don't know if you have a physical description of him from the book
I sure do.
anywhere. Awesome.
He is described as having a square jaw, handsome face, and, quote, amazing muscles. He also had short blonde hair, and the man had green eyes like the leaves in spring just out of bud. So that was a fun, romantic description of his eyes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And he's also a hot young firefighter, which Shay is so insecure about.
Yeah, and again, like the old thing just gets mentioned a million times, but yeah, he is like self critical about that. But like, come on, bro. And also, Jake like mentions it a million times that he's literally like hundreds of years older than him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're not old. I'm the old one here. Shut the fuck up." Essentially.
And Shay's
But he
like,
just continues. He's
I'm
like, "No,
old.
I'm old. See these grays? You see them? You see them right here, up here on the head? Yeah, old." So dramatic.
Yes.
And then I also put on this slide we have the dragon form. So Jake's dragon form, he's like a scarlet dragoon. And then I put the green eyes on there again as well.
I like could not get over the fact that his name was Jake. He was a red dragon.
Yeah.
It was it was a lot.
Yeah.
I
There
was like, did you watch that show? Shawn
were you
Michael.
heavily influenced as a kid by that show maybe? Perhaps. Was that your coming of age? That's how you realized. And so therefore you wrote this series? I don't know.
That's fair. I thought you were asking me, and I was like, yes,
No,
definitely.
no. That's hilarious.
I loved this show so much.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very entertaining one.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then, do we just want to briefly go over our next cast of characters?
Yeah, we can mention the clan. There is
Yes.
one, I don't know what you showed on the stream. There's like one more.
Oh, okay.
Uh yeah. I photoshopped them together.
Oh, yes. We have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
look at the happy couple before we discuss all of the side characters.
yes. So here
Here
they are
they
together.
are, and they're burning hot love.
Yes.
I really like the the hair on the dragon. That's a very good touch.
I literally just took like not Jake's face, not Jake from Disney. I took his face and slapped it on that dragon, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, that's
Worked pretty
wild.
well. But yeah, so other side characters that you would like to mention.
Well, we gotta mention his Shay's good buddy Brian.
Yes, yes.
He is the next door neighbor, and he just kind of is around occasionally to show that
Mhm.
there's another male around and that Shay has a friend.
Yeah,
But he's not,
fair.
I mean, it's a romance novel with not a lot of plot. It's mostly just the main couple for most of the
Yeah.
time. Although Brian does get brought up a few times later on
Yeah, there's
at the
definitely a
very
setup
end. Yeah.
for the next book to happen.
Yes.
It's
So
exciting.
if you read the book and you really like Brian, he is definitely the star of the next book.
Good news.
Yeah,
Good news for you.
good news. You can read about him having a lot of nice, fun dragon sex. And then on top of that, Jake has several brothers. And do you want to give those names?
Ooh, it was Mike and Mark, and then Deacon. Is that how you say it?
I think
Deacon.
so.
Yeah. So those were the three others, and they also had like really cool jobs. I forget
Oh, they also had
one
Luke.
of them. Oh, Luke. See, I knew I was forgetting one of them. I said that earlier. He was like the youngest or something, right? I
Yes.
don't.
Jake is a middle child. Middle child
Yes, yes,
syndrome.
yes. For sure. So one of them was a cop. Was that
That's
Mark
Mark.
or Mike? Okay, and then Mike was what? I got them confused,
I
like
believe
Loki.
Mike is the surgeon.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And then Deacon is the like rescue diver,
Yes.
which was
And
really
Luke is a
cool.
park ranger.
Yes. So they all have like really interesting jobs. Again, like I said, I really appreciated that. I was like, hell yeah, they're all in like different directions and they've all got something going on.
Yeah, they said well Jake said that they like to feel useful, and
Hmm.
that was definitely evident with the choices of jobs. I mean, they could just be relaxing, but instead,
Yeah.
I mean, Jake
And they
himself is a firefighter, so
Yeah, they did say too that like they had enough money and stuff. That like it was fine that they wouldn't have to have jobs or whatever.
yeah, they just
And I
get
was like,
bored.
wow, what a life. What a problem to have.
Can't relate.
Can I please donate Jeff Bezos's money to me, please, so that I can so that I too can just do that for my life.
And then on top of those brothers, I would say the only other like important character
Mhm.
is, I believe it's pronounced Corin.
Corin, yeah, that's how I think it is too.
He is a Fey tattoo artist, and he basically, I mean, he causes almost the only one of the only like things that they really strife about in the entire book. But he was
Yeah,
trying to signal he gets his Fey powers and knows who their soulmates are basically before they meet,
right.
and he took it upon himself to give Shay that tattoo of their family sigil or
Crest.
crest. Yeah,
Yeah, like their family's thing.
yeah,
Yeah, that was like a huge no-no, low key, and he almost got beat the fuck up for it.
that's fair.
But I want to know Corin story. Like, Corin to me was the most fascinating character in this book, and we barely got to know anything about the motherfucker.
I agree. I
I want
really
more.
want to know
I
more
want
about
more of the
Corin.
Fae. Yeah, more of him. Like, he's got to be getting up to some shenanigans.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yes. Now, as for the scenery, I know we normally do a scenery. We didn't include that slide, but if you want to picture the scenery of this world, you can look outside because
Go
it
look outside.
was modern times. It was
Modern
just
times,
a
baby.
nondescript place.
Yeah.
There was a lot of love actually in the house design, I would say. I mean, there
Hmm.
was just the author obviously had to spend time putting that house together. I ended up highlighting a bunch of passages about the house because
Yeah.
I have a personal love of the houses that authors design, but it was all pretty normal stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That leads into our character analysis, I believe.
Yes.
So, red flags for Shay are up first.
Yes. Would you like to go
Um,
first?
I'm not sure. I believe you're first.
That's fair.
Click next and see who's pops up first. I believe it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I gave Shay one red flag. And that is based on two things, but they kind of add up to one. Um,
Okay. Fair.
he he has intimacy and trust issues. Not his fault, but definitely something that you have to work through, and he was not working through
Mhm.
that very well. So we'll give him
Yeah.
that. And then my other gripe, what was with the milk? Every time they would drink milk, like full glasses of milk like monsters. Every time, like, I read this whole book, and every time they pulled out
Oh my
a whole ass glass of milk and drank it, my eyes got
god.
really big, and I was just like, what? I,
Okay, to be fair, I feel like they literally like drank milk and ate steak and like maybe some pork chops, and that was like it.
yeah.
And it was a lot. You're not wrong.
I,
I just was not expecting you to say that. That caught me so off guard.
like,
The milk.
they were really big glasses. I can accept Shay for all of the
Oh
things that
man.
he is, a pain slut and a size queen, but a milk drinker,
But a milk drinker.
I draw the line here.
Now listen, we are from the Midwest, so I feel like that's going to be a controversial. That should have been a hot take right there.
Too much milk.
Too much milk. Too much
I'm sorry. I guess I have two hot takes.
milk.
Too much milk,
Too
and
much
they're
milk.
overcompensating.
Oh, I'm weak. That's so funny. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So that added up to one for you.
One red flag. Stop drinking milk, Shay. You were
Stop
nearly
drinking milk.
perfect.
What the heck? That's so funny. Okay, well, I only gave him one as well, and mine was the trust issues thing. So you already said mine. The milk is hilarious. Honorable mention to the milk.
Honorable mention to the milk. Thank you.
Oh man. Yeah, not a lot of I didn't have I mean, okay, his trust issues too, like in this instance, I feel like we're very, very warranted and very justified.
Yes.
But he did talk about like previous relationships and stuff like that and like not being serious really with anyone and like only hooking up to. So that's like that was more of the reason that I put that in there as a red flag because I feel like it was very justified in this situation to be like, I don't think I should trust you maybe. Cuz yeah, there were a
Yeah.
lot of we'll get into that with Jake's red flags then in a little bit, but
Yes. But Shay, nearly perfect.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right,
Now,
on to green butterflies for him.
yes, I'm singing his praises.
Hell yeah. I think I'm first on this one, maybe.
You
I only
are.
gave him 3 butterflies. So here's the thing. I did like Shay as a character, but I feel like there wasn't a ton of like character exploration or plot in that sense because the book was just too much fucking. Too there is such a thing as too much fucking. And it was happening. Too much fucking. So I
That's
only gave
fair.
him 3, but I do feel like it would have been higher if maybe I would have gotten to know him a little bit better rather than just, he's fucking eating steak. It's great.
Yeah.
But so my butterflies for him, I said that he's very caring. He is like, he does like to take care of and dote on Jake a little bit,
Hmm.
you know. And the dragon tattoos are freaking dope.
Oh yeah.
Dope, dope, dope. That was on my part of my list too. I was like, you get a point for that because there were just so many of them, and like the way they described them were that they were like so that they were all just so beautiful. So I was
Hmm.
like, I want to see them all.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. And then I also put that he's a sensitive boy, and there was like something from his past that was like super. I don't know if we want to say it because it's kind of shocking. But it also just kind of happened out of nowhere, and then they just moved on immediately and continued fucking. And I was like, but you just dropped a huge bomb here. Like what? It was wild.
That's fair. I feel like go for it. Let's share because the context is it was something really serious.
That's fair. Okay, so he was like asking about Jake was asking about his Shay's family or whatever because he hadn't asked before, like he didn't know. And so Shay just like so casually was like, "Yeah, my parents and my twin sister died in a car crash, and also I should have died too, but I like wasn't there because I was at a friend's house." And then just continued fucking. They were like, "Now let's fuck."
They're like,
Like,
I feel so
I'm
much closer to you
sorry.
now.
But like there was no further discussion beyond that. It was just like XYZ happened. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
Wow, it was a lot. And then they never mentioned it again. It just just one random spot in the middle of the book was like boop. Nope, never again.
they did do that. They tried so hard
Yeah.
to put plot around the gratuitous sex, but
I did. Yeah.
but sometimes it was a line or two and then back to describing steak.
There
There were
were
so
so
many
I just
descriptions of steak.
the the meat bill in this book, just the sheer amount of meat. I wow.
I am
Like no
jealous.
wonder y'all have to have jobs cuz you're just eating steak all the time. And like 2 to 3 steaks at a time.
Yeah.
Biggins. Like all of the steak.
All right.
Is
Did
this weird to
you
talk to an eggplant still? Are we
I love it actually. It's
All
so
right, cool, cool,
expressive, the
cool.
eggplant.
I feel like I have to be extra like
You have to like float
extra
around.
animated and be like, ah. Yeah. That's hilarious. All right. Your butterflies are next. How many
Yes.
did you give him?
I gave Shay 5 out of 5 butterflies. They were flapping in my
They were
tummy.
flapping all around.
Yeah. Uh okay. So I actually don't think I had most of yours, but I
Okay.
agreed with them. Dragon tattoos
Mm,
are sexy.
hell
It just
yeah.
didn't occur to me to put that down. But
Okay, that's fair. That's
for
fair.
Shay, I loved his bratty behavior. Love a brat.
Mm, mm-hmm.
They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
The back and forth of a bratty sub and a dom is always something I enjoy reading.
That's fair. I very much did enjoy that. Yes, that's a very good point.
Yes. And
Yeah.
honestly, I found Shay adorable. He was super
Mm-hmm.
playful and cute. Some of his thoughts were just very they were like full of wonder, and
Mm-hmm.
I really love seeing that. You know, you can tell that Shay's had a hard life, but he hasn't lost the wonder and the magic of what the
Mhm.
world and falling in love can be like. And I feel like Jake really helped facilitate that, obviously, being a magical creature, but it was nice to see, and I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
And I also really appreciate that this is due to something I'll talk about later, but Shay stands up for himself and keeps his own opinions and like ground against Jake. This entire situation is very all consuming. They talked
Mhm.
about how much they hated being apart from each other. And as much as we rag on them for doing nothing but having sex and eating, that
Uh-huh.
the laws of this universe dictated that that was part of the whole dragon mate shindig.
That's yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a fair, yeah.
So I
That's a good
really,
point.
yeah, but with that in mind, I appreciate that Shay was still his own person and he didn't just cow to everything that Jake
Mhm.
wanted. And
That's fair.
then I also loved Shay's logic. He was very logical, even when things that were illogical were happening. He was trying so hard to keep ahead on things.
Yeah, that poor boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Trying so hard to keep it together.
yes, I could sing his praises forever. He was inquisitive and he was an artist. I
Mhm.
love artists. I love that concept of having something inside you that you need to express.
Mhm.
And then obviously, Shay was just really funny. On top of his like bratty wittiness, he
Yeah,
was just hilarious. They were having such a good time together. And
that's fair.
Shay would often be the person cracking jokes. And I actually laughed out loud at some
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yes. But those are my thoughts on Shay. I really loved him. Uh Jake, I'm coming for your man.
I'm coming for your man. I don't that's a tall order to compete with a dragon though, my dear. I don't
I
know.
You're right.
I don't know about that.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not gonna die, but it's okay.
Fair enough.
I'm willing to make
Fair
that
enough.
sacrifice.
Shay is worth it.
Yes. I'll show Shay that I love him.
All right. Our next slide. I made the scale slide now so people can see.
I love it. It's
Hell yeah.
beautiful. It looks soft. I want to lay on the pink fluff.
Very fluffy. I literally just searched for cotton candy background and it wasn't cotton candy, but like,
Mm-hmm.
same vibe, same vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, out of our scale here, we are going to rate each of the characters. So Shay is first, obviously,
Yes. Let's
on this stage, and
put his
your
beautiful photo
ratings
up.
are first.
Yes. Okay. My rating for Shay. Shay is a complicated character and I love him very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shay was 50% girl boss, 25% male wife, and 25% gatekeep.
And I 100% agree with everything you just said. I was putting this slide together and I was like, wait a second. We literally had the same exact split. That's so funny.
I'm
But
so
yeah, he
happy.
he very much was such a complex character. I was like, I have to put three things up on here for sure.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of plot, but they were still complex characters, if that makes sense, which makes me long for more plot. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about the sex. It was
Mhm.
good. I enjoyed reading it.
Yeah.
There could have been slightly less
I just or they
and
could have just
plot.
added, like, more plot. Like, they
Yeah.
could have just added more chunks of plot, and I would have been fine with that.
That's fair.
I would say. But yeah.
I think I would have liked to kept it at the length that it was. So
Mhm.
I'm saying
That's
we could take out 1 or 2 sex scenes. That would make room for enough
yeah.
plot to satisfy me.
There was like definitely a section in like the middle of the book that I think I said this whenever I was reading it still to you. I was like, I this is hard to get through. It's just them fucking and eating steak. Like they fuck, they eat, they fuck, they eat, just back and forth.
Yeah.
So maybe in that section they could have progressed the plot a little further or something. I don't
Yeah, definitely. I think that was
know.
a little difficult given like Shay's whole I refuse to open up and be
Yeah.
vulnerable
Hmm.
stance, but I do agree. I would have wished that they would have, just talked a little bit more and given me
Hmm.
some details to go off of.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And that was funny. We had the exact same. So
Yeah.
same page. Same page.
So we're right. And this is 100% an accurate description of Shay.
Uh, Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On to our next section.
Um,
Red flags for Jake.
yes.
I don't know who's first.
You
It's me.
are.
Okay.
Yay.
So I gave Jake 3 red flags, and really, it was only instances in where consent was an issue. And he, like, for example, he started like the whole transformation process without
Hmm.
telling Shay what the fuck was up. And he was like withholding a lot of information.
Yes.
So that was like technically the only red flag that can kind of count as one issue, but like there were just so many instances of it
Yeah.
that I gave it 3. But it really affects Shay too. And like that part was sad for me. But he like there's a quote that I pulled and he was like, Jake had held back information, had known what was going on, and had surged forward with the whole soulmate thing, not telling Shay everything. How is he supposed to truly trust Jake after that? Could he ever trust Jake completely? So again, he does have trust issues in general, but like he's so justified in this situation. Whenever Jake is like, not asking for consent, not asking for his opinion,
Yeah.
just going ahead because that's his soulmate, quote unquote. So
I agree with that.
I
That
give him
was
3 red flags.
that is a big red
The
flag.
fact his green butterflies definitely maybe canceled out some red flags for me because he's a fucking dragon that's so damn cool. But anyway, so 3. I give him 3 red flags.
That's right. And I gave him 4 red flags. Uh on top of agreeing with Alyssa, uh
Mhm. The
Jake,
eggplant. Yes,
yes, I
yes.
agree with eggplant.
Mhm, mhm.
Jake is possessive and domineering. There's being a dom and there's being a douche, and
Oh,
sometimes he crossed that line.
that's fair. I like how you
He
put that.
doesn't he also has trouble with boundaries. He doesn't respect Shay's privacy. He's like, we're soulmates. Why would we have secrets? And Shay's like, bro,
Okay.
I am human and
Yeah.
I don't know this. Why are you trying to get in my business all the time?
Yeah. And also not even just secrets, but like alone time too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shay would want alone time and he would be like, but why? We're soulmates. Get back here.
Yeah.
That would drive me bananas. That's fair.
Also, he talked about eating people multiple times, and I do not think that was a joke. I'm pretty sure he eats people.
I don't think that was a joke either, but he didn't do it in the book. So I
I,
didn't count it, but I understand
I'm
why you
saying
did.
he's provided enough evidence. He eats people.
That's fair. You're wrong.
um, and then the last red flag, he drinks milk. They both drink milk, and they both
Mhm.
need to be shamed appropriately for that.
Both deserve a flag for it.
Yeah. I'm calling a foul, actually. How dare you
So funny. I wonder if anyone in chat drink milk. We got any milk drinkers?
Yeah.
Comment below.
Any milk drinkers out there, I don't like you.
Whoa.
Yeah. I said it.
Serious business.
Those are my red flags. For Jakey Poo.
Jakey Poo. Now do we want to talk about good things?
Yeah.
Poo.
For Jakey Poo.
Calling him. Oh, I'm first again on this one. I
Yeah.
5 out of 5 green butterflies. So one, he's a dragon, because that's like the main one. That's amazing.
That's a very big butterfly.
It's so fucking cool. Also, they could fly together. Like Shay would get on his back or whatever, and then they would fly. But like Shay could see through his eyes. It was just so freaking cool.
Mhm.
And I really want to fly, and I think that would be amazing. And also, just dragons are cool. I want to be a dragon. It did leave me. We will talk about this in additional scenes, though. I'm sad in this universe. Well, we'll get to that.
That's fair.
So the other things that I have for him, he's an experienced Dom. So like he's literally spent like centuries just, practicing these principles of being a Dom. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. That's pretty hot. And then yeah, that's pretty much all I had. The flying and he's a dragon. Oh my gosh, so cool. But 5 out of 5 overall.
Yeah. I agree. I also gave Jakey Poo 5 out of 5 green butterflies. He's a dragon and flying. I mean, Alyssa knows. They get it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You know, I've always wanted to fly. It has been an obsession. And I would love to be able to fly on the back of a dragon. My other green butterflies here, going back to my red flag, he's possessive, and that's hot.
I love that in these episodes, both of us are like, "Ooh, that's a red flag," but also green butterfly
Yeah.
because it's hot. Every time there's something. Every
Yeah.
time. That's fair.
Look, I
Get it. I
understand
get it.
things intellectually, but then other parts of me understand things in a different way.
Yep.
Next, I really liked his confidence. He was very self-assured, and that was sexy. I guess it's pretty easy to feel that way when you're talking to your soulmate and you're a
Yeah.
magical creature, but
Yeah.
it was cool. Also, he's super strong, carries Shay
Mhm.
around like it's nothing, and
Yeah,
I
for
want to be
sure.
picked up.
Yep.
And then he had a line in there all about, he said, I'm all about you and keeping you safe. I melt at that. I want to feel safe, and I think Shay probably also wants to feel safe. I think we can relate in that, wanting to feel safe and taken care of, secure.
Yeah.
And then my last thing, this is not necessarily healthy, but it is a green butterfly from me. He cannot lie to you, and you can read his mind. He can withhold things from you, as he proved he was able to do, but he cannot
Yeah.
actually lie to you. And as the bond progresses, it appears that the mind reading powers get stronger. So you're not hiding from me much longer.
That's fair. I like how you said that this may not be healthy, but also perfect.
Yes,
Yeah, I would hate that. I would hate that a lot.
that's fair. I
Not that
mean,
it's not even that I would like hide stuff. It would just like I feel like I would
it's
never have any
invasive.
privacy. Yeah, it's like so invasive.
Yeah,
Plus, also, I don't know if I would necessarily want to know what other like someone else was thinking at all times either. Like that could be annoying too. I don't know. Not for me.
definitely. I mean, especially think about when I mean, there are so many examples, but like think about those times when you are in kind of a mood and you kind of want to be mad,
Yeah.
but you understand the other person's side entirely and you
Mm-hmm.
can't be mad. That is your life now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Not for me. Not for me.
It's for me. I'm okay about it. I'm I'm down with the invasive. Let's just merge and become one, I guess.
Uh-huh. Fair enough. To each their own.
All right, you want to tell me we're going to rank them now.
Hell yeah. Back to this beautiful scale.
Pink, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, manipulate, mansplain, male wife. What's that rating? I know I'll be first.
Yeah. Yours is first.
Here's Jake. My rating 75% male wife and 25% mansplain.
And
He
I rated him
go for it.
50% manipulate and 50% male.
Ooh, manipulate.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. But I also do like yours as well. Would you like to explain a little bit?
Sure, why not? Male wife, he is very much only dedicated to Shay. He is thinking about Shay constantly and how to make Shay love him, trust him, care about him. How can he prove that he loves, cares, trusts Shay? And especially when Shay is not doing so hot because of the changes of the dragon mate bond, he
Yeah.
really steps up and takes care of him. I just think male wife fit the best for that. He spends all of his energy trying to take care of the one he loves.
That's fair.
And then mansplain, it's the it's the dragon dom disease. Like, come on. He's
The dragon
explaining
dog.
stuff. He's a magical creature and he's like, I know better than you what you
Yeah,
want.
that's fair.
Yeah. Now, what
I
about
said
you?
okay, so male wife, I agree with you. I said manipulate because he very much was like controlling the situation and was withholding information and like not telling Shay everything. So I feel like we were kind of saying the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with the man split. Like I feel like it plays into that, but yeah, he was definitely like controlling the situation. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I
And I
agree.
put that one first because I just felt like the things that he was doing were like such big red flags that I felt like it took precedent over the male wife thing, even though it is like a 50-50 split.
That's fair. I would definitely agree that I would say if I had to go back, I had talked to you about this beforehand, I probably would have also gone with manipulate, but I probably would have done like a 25% manipulate instead of
Oh,
mansplain.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair, but no takebacks.
Yes, no takebacks. This
It
is
was
my
right.
rating.
This is what it is.
On the PowerPoint, it's like chiseled into these cups
Yes, I etched them myself.
with my eggplant nub. This because that you don't
Yes,
have hands.
like this, right there. You see, my handwriting is great. It's wonderful.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, additional thoughts.
Yes.
So I will start it off with the thing that I mentioned earlier about I am sad in this universe. The reason that I am sad in this universe is that the dragons, the male dragons, find male mates that are human, and then the female dragons also find male mates that are human. So I will never experience the love of a dragon dom, and I am a sad eggplant because of this fact.
You're drooping. I get it 100%.
fades out of picture. Yeah. So that was one thing that they said about this universe that I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Weird, weird, but okay.
It was
Sad.
an interesting tidbit, and then right back to fucking.
And then right back to fucking. Literally anytime, any lore about this, no, right back to fucking. Just
Yes.
immediately after. For
Uh,
sure.
yes. I have a question for you.
Okay. I have an
Okay.
answer for you.
So after they're having all this sex at Shay's house, and Jake is saying super cryptic, weird things the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Do you want to go on a road trip to my
Mm.
private cabin?"
Mm-hmm.
And how convinced would you have been on the way to that cabin or once you arrived that he was going to kill you? Because I
Oh, for sure.
would have felt that fear in my heart.
Would you have still gone?
Mm,
Yeah.
well,
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
probably. The sex was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I probably too would have been a little dick
Like,
dumb.
okay. All
Like,
right, let's go. That sounds great.
you want to go to a cabin
Yeah.
and fuck me?
There was
Okay.
there was a lot of that though that was like Shay just did not question things like at all. Like there's a part later in the book when they clearly were setting it up for the next book when Brian was like, "Oh, I got my first tattoo.
Mhm.
Got my tattoo from that guy that you go to." And then he was like, "It's some sort of, well, I don't know if he said crest or seal or something, but he said something that was like, okay, well, that's clearly what that is." And nothing. They did not ask questions. Like Shay goes off and has phone sex with the dragon
Too
instead of
distracted.
being like, huh, that's weird. Let me ask some more questions, friend. What do you mean? Does it look like this? Like, it was wild. There was just a lot of not asking questions whatsoever. Maybe that's
Mhm.
just how Shay is. Maybe he's just, I don't know. I don't know what the explanation for that is.
He's like,
Just
"I
a little
refuse to
dumb.
judge. No
Just a
judgment
little
zone."
just a little himbo welder out here. Just
Yes. I agree. Yeah, so Brian's definitely I'm glad that we both are like, Brian's definitely dating that brother though.
Oh, for sure. There's no way it's not. Like they've set it up so well. Like there were just like little hints throughout it too. Like Brian was like spying on him and like thinking about him and like whenever he was like getting off by himself and things like that.
Mhm.
There's just like a lot of little hints that I'm like, oh, you're for sure in the second book.
Yeah.
For And then I also like looked up the title of the second book, and the title of the second book has something to do with like water or something. I'm like, okay, well, it's clearly gonna be them.
Conveniently, the two fuckers obsessed with water.
Convenient. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I feel like now is a great time to discuss my hot take.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So, the entire book, it felt it felt to me like they were really overcompensating for something. I don't know necessarily what it was, but I felt like there was this pressure to make everything masculine.
I agree. Yes. Continue. Sorry.
Yes. So it's so many times throughout the entire book, they're describing his house. Oh, it's blue and masculine. They're talking about the food they're eating. I mean, steak and pizza. That is
Hmm.
what they eat. And barely pizza, really. Oh, and beer. They drink
Yeah,
beer, they eat steak, they fuck.
yeah.
Uh,
Even the tone of like the fucking too, I feel like was in that. Yes. Okay, I agree 100% with this because I feel like you have put into words something that I was trying to articulate in my mind, just could not for the life of me. So hell yeah.
Yes. There's so many times they would be talking about beer or me or sports, and I would just be like, aha, yeah, the male hobbies. I get it. At one
Yeah.
point, Shay literally has like a head injury, and Jake asks him where his car is because he's going to take him home, and Shay tells him the car, and he like sees it, and Jake feels the need to comment about how he says that was a fine truck, shiny and sharp. What? Your soulmate has a head injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was weird. I don't know what that was about.
I feel it. And I also do you think it was like easier to like recognize that because of the book we read last week? Because I feel like it was like such a drastic change from like clearly a novel written by a lesbian to this. I feel like
That's
that kind of
fair.
played into it a little bit for
That's
me, at least.
fair. I would definitely say that is a juxtaposition. However, I do read a lot of horny literature, so it
That's fair.
wasn't completely out of it wasn't, I don't think, as big of a shock to me, but maybe that's also why I was able to pinpoint what it was, because
That's
I
fair.
have read a lot of gay literature and they
Mhm.
don't all do that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know what it was either. I don't know what were you overcompensating for? Tell us.
Tell me.
Tell me, Shawn Michael. Even his name, didn't we comment about his name too? Is this a
Yeah,
pen name, sir?
it has to be. Who was
Shawn
named that?
Michael.
You have two
Shawn
first
Michael.
names. I know that's
I mean, it
actually
could be like a first and middle name, and then he's just like, "This is my pen name."
fair enough.
But yeah, Shawn Michael, huh?
Yes, Shawn Michael.
Interesting. Interesting.
Since we're talking about Shawn Michael,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really respected that Shay was older because of how old Jake was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always super weird to, see somebody who's several hundred years old going after a freshly 18-year-old or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
And Shay's being older really made him more sure of himself. Like I said, he doesn't cow to Jake's domineering ways. And for a little bit, the whole, oh, this sexy hunk, why is he attracted to me, I'm old, is
Mm.
funny until he is literally told that Jake is not like a sexy young hunk, and then he's still doing it, and then I'm like, boy, what?
Yeah.
Shut up now.
Yeah. I agree. I think that it did like his age did make it more of like that was like an admirable thing to
Hmm.
Jake or whatever. And then he just kept on being like, "Oh, I'm so old," all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did talk about that earlier, yeah, about how that was kind of annoying. I'm like, "Bro, just be confident in who you are. It's fine." Like
Also, you
it
can
does
read his thoughts, and he's like thinking,
yeah,
what a sexy man.
sexy. Let me fuck you right now. Like how are you still doubting yourself, sir?
Yeah, you guys have had so much sex, and you still
Yeah,
don't.
and you're still like, "Nah, he's not into me." Like, pretty sure.
Pretty sure
Pretty sure
he likes you. Just a
yeah,
little bit.
just a lot. Oh, yeah, do
um,
you have any other additional scenes?
I have a few actually.
Okay, 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 good.
One, I'm gonna bring up this one. It is my biggest gripe.
Mhm,
They go on about how Shay is a pain slut and a size queen.
mhm.
They never fuck in dragon form.
Okay, see, I felt like the book ended pretty quickly, like, after they had revealed the dragon form or whatever. So I'm wondering if like maybe there's more of that in the later books. I don't know if that just focuses on like a new couple or if it's like cuts back to other people then, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, there was none of that. What the hell?
I'm
I
so
agree.
upset. What the fuck? I wanted to read about him fucking a dragon. How dare you? What's the point of him being
Yeah.
a dragon if they don't have sex while he's a dragon?
Yeah. Now also, okay, does I forget what they said exactly. Does Shay with when he train like with his transformation, is he eventually gonna be a dragon? Or is he not?
They don't know. The
Right.
dragons don't know.
So with that, I'm like, maybe there'll be something like later in the other books where he is a dragon and then they fuck as dragons? Maybe?
I would like to see both,
Just
though.
maybe it's yeah, but just maybe it's just like literally anatomically not possible
I don't care.
is the thing.
Lick it.
Okay.
I don't give a shit.
Lick it.
There could have been something. That's the thing.
Okay, you're not wrong. That's fair.
It is the possibilities are endless, and they did nothing.
That's fair.
They just went flying. What's up? Joyrides are cool, but what about
Hey, the
joyrides?
flying was dope though.
Okay, the flying was so good, and you know I was obsessed with it.
I want to fly. I want to go fly right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm. Oh gosh. But yeah, that was like my biggest gripe. Honestly, I'll never forgive them for that.
That's fair. That's yeah. If you're gonna have dragons, that's a fair expectation, I
Yeah,
would
I
say.
feel like they were at the cabin for days. They
Yeah,
definitely had the opportunity. As
yeah,
many times as they went flying, they had the opportunity at least once. Shay,
yeah.
you said you're obsessed with dragons. I'm ashamed of you. This, maybe you deserve just one more red flag.
Ooh, just for that, because you didn't fuck him as a dragon.
Liars. I don't
Big
like
dragon,
liars.
big
Yeah,
dragon
I would have fucked the dragon.
fan.
All right. I have more if you don't, but do you have any others? Any other
I had
things?
like the flying on there, but and then we've covered everything that was on my list essentially
That's fair.
at this point.
I feel like I'm revealing so much of the plot, but it's just because there really wasn't any.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah, but I I feel very bad for Shay for throughout the entire bonding transformation process. I know he's still kind of in it at the end of the book, but for so long he has no idea what's going on. And hold on. Okay. He has no idea what's going on, and like Jake is not cluing him in. Jake is being super weird and cryptic, and he thinks he's going crazy because Jake won't explain anything to him.
Yeah,
And then when Jake finally reveals his dragon form, Shay just goes, "Oh, I am crazy," and he like accepts it. And that was so sad. He he said like, "This is love. I'm in love, or I'm crazy. I'm in love and I'm crazy," or something like that. Like he just accepted it, and it was so heartbreaking to see that happen.
yeah.
But I mean, it felt like that. Honestly, sometimes I feel like the author did a really good job of capturing that,
Mm-hmm.
where I felt out of control reading it sometimes because I felt like their
Yeah.
thoughts were not entirely in sync. They were like jumping all over
Mm-hmm.
the place at some points, which I really appreciated. It definitely got me in that headspace.
Yeah. Yeah, of like the ups and downs of like, oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening? Like what's
Yeah, and then
what's
it's
gonna
like,
happen next?
no, I can't think about
What's
that. I'm
going on?
horny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That those are my thoughts on the book. I have no more additional scenes that I need to address. Except again, why no dragon fucking? What was that?
I thought you were going to say again, what the fuck about the milk?
Oh, that too. Two things. I will
Two
not
things.
forgive you for those things.
That's hilarious. All
Yes.
right. That, okay, well, I think that just leads into the overall rating of the book.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I believe you are up first. Yes.
My rating of this book, 4 flaming hearts out of 5. I love dragons, the concept of soulmates, the sex scenes were okay, and yeah, it was a pretty good book. Can't complain. And
That's
Alyssa?
fair. I gave it 3 flaming hearts out of 5 because I really, really, really wanted more plot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the plot elements that the author came up with were so interesting to me, like with the Fae tattoo artist and stuff like that. Oh, it was so interesting. And then they just didn't really dive into it at all because it was steak and sex.
Yep.
And I wanted Fae plot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so 3 out of 5.
I agree. Do you want to talk about what is next week?
Yes. Okay. I actually started this book today when I was working on the slideshow for this week, and I'm so excited. You're gonna love it so much. I'm so excited. It's called A Touch of Darkness, and it is like a Persephone and Hades retelling, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes place in the modern times. So far, like in the summary, I think what they gave us was that Hades runs like a gambling enterprise, and then Persephone is trying to be a journalist. So you can imagine what shenanigans that will lead up to. But I'm very
Yes,
excited. I think you'll like it a lot.
I am
There's
excited.
a lot of like Greek references and stuff like that in it
That's fair.
throughout.
I'm probably gonna see like one random god in the background plot and I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like, I love them. Like it'll be
Yeah.
like Ares or something and I'll
It,
be like, I love them because I am obsessed with that Greek god. And
I
then
will
I'll
tell you, I'm not that far in, but they do mention quite a few people
mm,
like already, and I'm like, yes. I'm just eating it up. I love whenever it's like universes like that. I don't know why. It's very exciting.
fair.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I do have a slide in here for the app that we've been using. I believe that's next.
Yes.
We've been using this app. This is not sponsored, obviously, sadly. But hey, Libby, sponsor me. That'd be cool. How about that?
Yeah.
But this app we've been using for the books that we've been reading on this podcast. So it has like a lot of ebooks and a lot of audiobooks on it, and they are all free on there. You have to have a library card for it, but it should, I mean, it should have your library on there. But yeah, that's the app that we've been using,
Yeah.
and it's been
And
very good so far.
then the books that we're reading in the next little bit.
Yes, so last week there was an asterisk under the second uh or the last book, sorry, The Daughter of the Pirate King. We did get a hold of that, so we will be reading that one. And then next week hopefully we'll have an updated schedule for you guys for September is what I'm hoping. And yeah, I'm very excited about that one as well.
Yeah. I am too. That sounds fun. And I feel like the female lead is going to be witty and fun.
Yeah, she's super snarky. I love it.
Love that.
All right, and here are your plugs.
Or plug in, yeah, again, Adrian. Follow me at Adrian Games or adriandrawful everywhere. My link tree is probably the best place to get all my links. And 18 plus only, no children. Please, I'm afraid of you. Alyssa's turn.
The same sentiment goes for me. I'm the eggplant this week, but I'm Alyssa. I don't normally look like this.
Aw.
Linktree slash Naviro31 is where you can find all of my stuff. My YouTube channel is linked there as well, where we have the uploaded VODs for the Hopeless Romantics. Then after they go off of our Twitch. But yeah, 18 plus as well. And that's all my plugs.
Yeah. And that's a podcast,
That's
everyone.
our podcast, everybody.
Alrighty. Gonna just look over here. Shout out to Water Kitty in the chat.
Yeah, shout out, shout out.
Big love to you. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Start reading A Touch of Darkness if you want to do our survey. And yeah,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Bye, everybody.